Hello, Miss Melissa here. I'm going to present as if I were talking to a room full of 3-year-olds. I just switched from teaching threes to teaching young fives this week, so my brain's in a weird space right now for that, but I think I'll do threes for this assignment. This is Dixie. She's going to join us, I guess. Um, the experiment and the activity I'm picking is germs and hand washing. I think COVID has really introduced us to how we need to teach how to wash hands and do it properly and why we do it. I think, little kids love to say why. And so in my classroom, I always like to answer that why the best I can in the most developmentally appropriate way. And my husband's a scientist, so I like to do little science experiments and fun stuff like that. I'm also the messy teacher in the building, so glitter, glue, all those good things. So my activity plan will be for germs and hand washing, like I said, age 3. My concept will be sneezing and coughing, why we cover when we sneeze and cough, and why we have to wash our hands after that to be safe, and why just hand washing in general is important. So kind of germs and hand washing go hand in hand together. My objectives, why we cover, identifying germs and where they are on our body and how we share them and spread them, and how fast that happens. And then the benefits of hand washing and washing your hands the right way. So let's see, I'm going to do, after my discussion, I would do an art activity. And you would need construction paper, and you can use the gel glue, like the colored glitter glue. You could make your own glue. I usually make it like a gross yellow, green, snotty color, honestly. Or you could use slime. Glitter optional, teacher dependent. And then paper and some good old-fashioned tissues, Kleenex. And googly eyes, always optional in any art project in the preschool world. For the discussion, I would make sure I had a box of tissues by me, and I'm going to use a spray bottle with clean water. Bottle has never had anything but water in it, and you'll see why that's important during the discussion. And yeah, we would just get started. I would probably bring it up at circle time. It's sort of a time right now where everyone's sneezing and coughing in general, so it's a really good segue into, hey, let's talk about how we wash and clean our hands. So I would ask, what happens when we cough or sneeze? And I'm sure friends would say boogers come out, we get sick, we share our germs. That would lead into, what are germs? What do germs do to your body? Discussion would flow from this. This format's a little hard without kiddos in the room. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to have access to my students this week as I was transitioning rooms, and it was a crazy time. Why should we cover? Why are germs gross? Where do germs come from? That would be my sort of discussion topic at circle. And then I would sneeze on some friends, fake sneeze, achoo, sort of spray them like I just did my laptop. And just, the ew, yuck, oh, she sneezed on me, that kind of thing. Reassure them it's just water. And then say, oh, how can we stop that from happening when we cough or sneeze? How could we keep these germs to ourselves when we cough or sneeze? And then I would proceed to do it with a tissue. I call it a vampire cough in my room. I'd show how a cough, if I did that, did not spray them as much as when I didn't cough or didn't protect, in general, the audience and the people around me. So an example would be showing them how to keep your germs to yourself. After that, we'd move to the art table. And we talk about, okay, let's paint those germs, because kids love that. It's fun. It's gross. They're 3. Let's get yucky. That's just kind of my classroom. So hopefully, not for everyone. Not everyone wants that. But I like to be engaging. I like to do activities. And I let them finger paint with that slime or glitter glue or whatever concoction the teacher decided to make based on the materials I listed. And I think finger painting is great. And we would make a germ, but in the end, we would also put some tissues on it. And then as a final piece, because I do use this as a portfolio piece, I found a little poem about hand washing and germs that I just think makes the art piece look cute. But then the real activity actually comes when they're done painting. and we're going to go wash our hands. And a teacher would be stationed at the sink and give them a song to sing. We sing ABCs in my classroom while we wash our hands. And finger paint, glitter glue, any kind of glue, it's going to be a little harder to get off your hands than just the rinse and go that they like to do. So in turn, we're also going to learn how to wash our hands properly. So we're going to see the effects of an uncovered sneeze or cough, the effects of a covered sneeze or cough during the discussion. We're going to paint the germs, have some fun, get messy, and then the real lesson is going to be washing our hands properly at the sink, and getting all that glue and all that glitter and all that slime off of our hands. The art piece, when it's dry, going home later, then being the reminder and the sort of end cap of, oh yeah, that's when, when they explain to the parent, that's when I learned how to wash my hands at school. That's when Miss Melissa pretended to sneeze on all of us, and now we know how to wash our hands and not sneeze on everyone at school. Sort of putting a tactile lesson with the discussion at circle, and then follow through with how can you be the preventer of the germs. So an assessment of this lesson would just be a little hard right now without actually doing the lesson, but I obviously have done the artwork part of the lesson. So the kiddos should be able to discuss what germs are and why we don't want to share them. They would be able to show you how to properly cough or sneeze in public and contain their germs. And then the third part would be they should be able to demonstrate how to properly wash their hands with soap, the length of time, ensuring they get all their hands and getting all the yucky off. And of course we discuss real germs are invisible and things like that are a little tricky when you're talking about threes, but I think they get it. I think we're all talking about germs so much that this is a really good lesson. But it's one that is a little abstract that kind of is brought a little more into focus these days. So, and a huge issue in my room. Huge issue as allergy season hits us. So I think identifying areas where learning would occur would be in the discussion. And then those kiddos that are maybe a little lower on the communication scale would, maybe they're a little more tactile, they're a little sensory. That's where the art piece would come in and sort of pick up and carry out that icky feeling. And then the hand washing to kind of put the resolve on the lesson. Instructional method, I like to mix it up. I don't like to do one. So even in the discussion, we had, a little touch and feel experiment. Again, the art experiment would carry that out. And then the hand washing, which we do all day, but do we always slow down, take our time, get our soap, tops and bottoms in between? I think it would be an interesting one. It was interesting when I've done it before. They like definitely painting with the slime and the boogers, and I just think it kind of helps them remember the lesson and enables them to repeat that lesson to their self, to their peers, bring it back home and talk about it because they got to do this fun, dirty, gross, messy thing. But oh yeah, then we washed our hands and we got it all off because we always have to wash our hands and get it all off. Improve the lesson, it would just depend on the class. I think every year the class is different. Obviously, when I did AM, PM, which was just last week, and now I'm full day, even the AM and the PM were just opposite classes. But in general, this, I think, is a lesson that would work for ages 3 through 5. I wrote up my plan and geared it to 3s. And I'll write it up and type it up and send that in an email as well, just in case this video is a little off. I've had a lung infection myself this week, so my voice is kind of coming and going. Another good one I'd consider if I were doing it in my older kids class would be the good old bread experiment. An untouched piece in a baggie labeled untouched, a piece we all pass around and cough and sneeze on, labeled touched. We go wash our hands properly, touch the bread, and then the clean hands labeled bag. I tried that a couple years ago, and it turns out bread has a lot of preservatives these days, and nothing was getting gross no matter how much we coughed on it or touched it. So I love that experiment. I think maybe with some homemade bread, it would work differently than bakery bread or store bread, and considered it for this lesson. But I really think finger painting for 3s is the way to go to get the hand washing, and germs lesson really out there. Hopefully I answered all the questions for the assignment. Again, I'll type it up and submit it as well. And I'm almost at the 10-minute mark, so definitely over 2 minutes. Hopefully that's okay. Thanks. Let me know if I missed anything. I'm happy to re-videotape or resubmit if necessary. Thank you.